This is Kardec Radio, bringing you the talk, the dynamics of our sixth sense, psychic and mediumistic phenomena in the light of Spiritism, given by Divaldo P. Franco, Brazilian medium and speaker. This partial audio recording will cover Chapter 7, A. The Role Model of Mediumship. Enjoy. During the second part of Divaldo Franco's workshop, there was an 8-minute movie that presented different types of mediumship and mediums. You can watch the movie, as well as hear Divaldo Franco's workshop on the DVD, I Spiritist Weekend in Lily Dale. You can buy the DVD online at www.ssbaltimore.org. The short movie presented physical phenomena of two types: the mediumistic surgeries in which there was neither anesthesia or hemorrhage nor infection. The patients after the surgery did not need to take any medication. I have seen and witnessed all these surgeon mediums that were seen in the video. What is most amazing about it is that there were large lines of people waiting to be helped, and without ever having told the spirits what their problem was, yet the surgery was performed and the patients would leave. The spirits no longer are interested in this kind of phenomena. It had its moment in the history of mediumship, which was to get people's attention. Nowadays, the surgeries are performed on the paraspirit, or the astral body. The paraspirit is a spiritist term created by Allan Kardec in 1857, and in the Spirit's book, Kardec explains in a comment to question 135 that the paraspirit is a semi-material substance which constitutes the innermost envelope of the spirit and unites the soul with the body. But, in order to prove it to scientists, the spirits would use instruments that had not been sterilized, which could have caused great infections. In reality, today in Brazil, you no longer find surgeons mediums using instruments. The surgeries are done either by touch or by visits from the spirits that program it ahead of time. Patients stay at home, and the result is the same. Other presentations that are shown in the video were related to ectoplasmic phenomena. The ectoplasm extrudes through natural orifices in the face and very rarely also through the female genital organs. Ectoplasm is in the external part of the cell. When the medium goes into profound trance, he or she brings out this energy, which basically materializes, condenses itself into the spiritual beings. Afterwards, this energy is reabsorbed, and the medium will lose some weight. We saw Kate King photographed by Sir William Crookes, who lived from 1832 to 1919, who was an English chemist and physicist, and the medium Chico Javier right next to some spirits in an incredible witnessing of materialization. Chico Javier was a medium of materializations, the most beautiful ones I have witnessed, because they carried the light with them. Chico Javier was probably the most complete and the most wholesome medium in the history of humanity that I have witnessed or seen. He possessed all the possible faculties of a medium that you could imagine. He would take a book on science, he would touch it with his hand, and he could tell you what the contents of the book were about, psychometrics. He would look at someone and he could tell which organ was ill, and normally he could not tell the person. He would ask for guidance from the spirits, and he would prescribe a homeopathic medicine. Chico Javier reached such a high level of mediumship that you could smell perfume emanate from him. Once I was in the kitchen of the Spiritist Center. He was carrying a tray with about 20 small cups of coffee. A coffee cup in Brazil is not like the one you see here in the States. Since in the States everything is really big, in Brazil coffee cup is really small, so you could see the cups on the tray. In one hand, with the lights on, he would take cup by cup and hand it out to people. You could smell the perfume of violets coming from the cups. He would get another one, and you could smell roses. Each cup had a different perfume. The first time that I smelled the perfume that was emanating from him was during a very cold morning. We were walking and I was holding on to his arm. Then I smelled the scent of jasmine. I was very enthusiastic, and I said, "Chico, what a great fragrance." And he said, "It is from the gardens." And then all of a sudden I sensed another aroma and said, "Chico, wow, violets." And he said, "We don't have any, but we detect its scent." When I turned around, I noticed that it was coming from him. I said, "Chico, it's from you." He said, "No, no, it is not." He continued saying, "If they were from me, it would be DTT, which was the first modern pesticide and is arguably the best known organic pesticide." Chico Javier was the expression of simplicity and humbleness that we do not usually witness. I had a great illness in my throat, and the doctor diagnosed a certain type of cancer in 1954. I could not speak and had great pain in my throat. I was in Sao Paulo, and I live in the city of Salvador. It is about 1,230 miles distance between the two cities. I decided to go by the city where Chico lived to say goodbye. I was 27 years old at the time with a cancerous tumor in my throat. It was a sign that most likely I was going to disincarnate. So I went to the city where Chico was born and where he lived, Pedro Leopoldo City, and he received me so nicely. He said, "What do you have?" I said, "Oh, my throat." I would usually stay at his house when I visited. Once there, I participated in the Spiritist Center's meeting. He would do automatic writing for 8 hours non-stop in several languages, and some were written in a mirror image format. While he was doing automatic writing, certain people were requested to give small talks with positive messages, so that the public could elevate their mental and spiritual states to elevate the spiritual vibration of the environment. That night he had asked me to speak as much as possible. I could not understand because I couldn't speak. But since he had requested, I tried really hard. When we finished, it was already late at night, and we went to his brother's house to eat a snack. It was 3 a.m. Before the snack, he said, "Divaldo, I am going to apply some passes on your throat." To be continued in Chapter 7b.